Hey YouTube, this is Brightfire. These are my Dragon Stilts version 1.0, and well, this video will contain, I'm just gonna kind of show them to you, but it also comes with a warning and just a few tips for those of you who want to make similar stilts. Some of you may have heard of Digitigrade stilts, or Digitigrade, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Let me show you this here. Sorry if some of you are sideways at the moment. But how it works is you put your foot in the shoe, you hook these up just below your knee, and the bungee cords here act as like extra tendons and help pull your weight back as you're kind of leaning forward on your toes. So it gives you the illusion of having animal-like feet, which is really neat. But the problem that I ran into when I was trying to make something like these is that most of them were for furry creatures or hoofed creatures, like wolves or minotaurs and stuff like that. But, well, I really have to give a shout out to my little brother who did the actual construction of these stilts. And since I'm afraid of power tools, so and now I think I'll get to the warning, really, right now, because when we first constructed these, they're actually pretty comfortable to walk in, but we weren't sure just how long that would last, so we got the idea to, let me show you, peel back I just kind of dismantled this, because we're going to redo this. We put this, you can see this block under the toe to kind of bend it up like that. And do not do this. I wore these to geek.kon in Madison, was it 2 weeks ago? And oh my goodness, my tendons in my foot still twinge in pain if I try to stand on my toes sometimes. It was excruciating to walk in these with my toe pushed up like this. See, we thought it would give more support, because at first the toes was just laid down like flat along this board here, and so we thought, well, all the weight was just going to be on the toe. So we thought, well, we'll bend it up so that the weight will be on the balls of my feet. Have it a wider area. That didn't work. It hurt even more. So please, if you love your tendons in your feet, if you value your feet at all, please, please, please don't bend your foot up like this. It worked better the original way. So, oh, by the way, we found the design from YouTube user Griffern. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I think I'll put a link to her video in this one so that you can look at the original and see how that works so much better than ours. So that's it for the warning. And now for our little modifications, because making dragon feet is different than making wolf or minotaur feet, because we're not dealing with fur or hooves, or if one thing, we're dealing with claws and scales, and so it's harder to cover up things with scaly fabric than it is with fur, because fur you can have all sort of lumpy stuff. You just drape it over there, no one will know the difference. But with this thin, see, it's a very thin, shiny fabric here, and everything's going to show. So what we did, so yeah, as you can see, I have this pink fabric here. I covered the whole stilt in that first to kind of get an idea of what it would look like, and also to give this because this is very cool, shiny, lovely, scaly fabric, but it's very thin. So the pink fabric is to get a little more support and form when you glue it on the stilt. Plus, the hot glue marks won't show so much when you glue it on there, because that's pretty much what I used. Lots of hot glue. Anyway, I formed the toes out of foam. I have a piece of it over here. This stuff. This squishy 1-inch thick foam. Got it from Joann Fabrics. Very nice stuff. Just regular sewing scissors won't work to cut it, I found out. So I use these like titanium scissor shears type things, and they worked beautifully. So I basically cut the toes, and I hot glued them onto the stilt itself. But it's not a solid piece of foam. It's actually a square of foam here and a strip of foam curves up. So there's this open space underneath. If I can peel it back, maybe I can show you. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but it's not just one. If it's a solid piece of foam, it's harder for it to have the flexibility, like when you bend the toe back, like that. See, as it like that. I just found that setup works easier to have space underneath the toe where it's going to bend, and that will help the flexibility. The claws are pretty much just, plastic craft claws that you can find at many craft stores. And speaking of claws, I have a little dew claw on the side there. One of the modifications we made for this is in connection to the toe plate, because the problem we were running into in the first prototype, you could call it, before we put the skin and everything, was this toe plate would bend, and then it would bend all the way back like this, and it would get caught on the carpet, and so I would be like tripping practically if my brother was not there to save me. So my dad, another ingenious person that I gotta make a shout out to, he did the block modification, and he also had this really cool idea. Let me get this up here, of having like a stopper. See, these are just regular old screws drilled in to keep the wood block from coming all the way down like that. And then, but the cool thing about this is you can twist them and adjust them. So if you want it to fall back just a little bit, you can adjust it. Or if you don't want it to go at all, you can twist them so they're further out and they don't let the toe plate flop down. So, cool thing. It's saved my life, pretty much. Yes. Oh, you remember that pink fabric I mentioned earlier? Well, to help get with the illusion of the toes being separated, I actually painted that fabric black when I was gluing it on there before I put this fabric on, and then I just glued the edge of the green fabric here separately, so it helps the toes come out a bit more. And hold on a second. I'm making a video. Okay. Sorry, that was my mom. Hi, Mom. Alright. And here's the stilt I haven't dismantled yet, so let you look at that. And it took a lot of work to get the stilt this far, but it was actually pretty fun to do because it looks so cool. But it was a pain to walk around in. But hopefully we're going to change that. See, we're going to take this block out, put the shoe back, and hopefully I can have these done by Halloween, and if not, I'll have them ready for geek.kon next year. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say about these. Yeah, again, a shout out to my little brother who made these, and Griffern on YouTube, who posted the original video and helped set this whole thing in motion. Yeah, and so this is version 1.0, and I don't know how soon I'll be able to post up with the version 2.0 once we get this the block taken out and the shoes. See, another reason why, small point I forgot to bring up. Another reason why we did the block under here is because the front of this shoe is falling apart. So I didn't want to walk around and then all of a sudden have my foot come through the front of the shoe. So support wasn't the only thing we were worried about. We were worried about the shoe coming apart. But we're gonna hopefully reinforce that somehow. I don't know how. I'm not good with tools or stuff like that. My dad and my brother are the masters in that area, at least in this household. So thank you for watching, and again, if you have any questions, or put them in the comment section below, and hopefully I will have another video up soon with the updated version of this. So thank you, and good night.